A tornado strikes a town in Bolivia without warning. The twister ripping metal sheeting from roofs and uprooting trees. Dozens of private homes and warehouses were damaged. There were no reports of any deaths, though. Wow, look at that. We're seeing a totally opposite weather pattern here, but that's still good video. Interesting to see.
It's really impressive.
It is. Now, will this snowstorm be impressive?
I think so. I think in certain parts it'll be more impressive than others.
And we're not talking a foot. I mean,
No.
we're not, I mean,
No.
but it's the first significant snowfall.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
Yep. So we'll see in a little bit how much we can plan on getting and how much we can plan on shoveling and, well, scraping off of our cars as well. Right now, though, not a whole lot out there, just kind of a dusting. 30 degrees is what we're sitting at. Skies still very cloudy for us, though. This is what we've seen throughout the daytime today. Snow making its through mainly off to the north, but still some of us off into northern Wisconsin still getting grazed with that, and even a little bit of rain mixing in there. We've got your totals up on Storm Tracker for you. Some areas, again, getting around that 2-inch mark up near the borderlands. Otherwise, just 1.5 inches or so. And we saw just a dusting here again in Duluth. But at least our temperatures weren't all that bad. We saw some pretty chilly temperatures through the overnight, but right now, 32 for your high in Duluth, 48 in Minneapolis. Quite the gradient here. And, well, cloud cover, snow and rain really were to blame for that. Temperatures, though, again, here in the Northland, not too bad. We were sitting right around on our averages, some of us over. 37 in Superior, 40 in Ashland. A pretty nice day if you can rule out the snow, unless you like the snow. We're cooling off, though, not too much. Still 30 in Duluth, 28 into Hibbing for us. We are much warmer than we were this time last night. Remember those single digits that we saw? Well, at least Hibbing, you're 18 degrees warmer than you were at this point, 12 degrees in Grand Rapids, so not as much of a cool down. We can thank the clouds for that. Futurecast bringing in a little bit of that moisture throughout the morning hours. I think we'll see most of it hold off until the afternoon for the start of this thing, but then it gets downright crazy. A huge swath of moisture, snow, rain down into southern portions of Wisconsin as well, so nobody escaping this thing. At least it leaves us, though. Into Saturday, into Saturday evening, we're just left with some clouds and a few snow showers out there, and then we clear out on Sunday. So we'll have a nice day to play in the snow that we do get. Tonight, though, temperatures down into the teens and 20s for us. Still stray shots of some snow showers throughout the Twin Ports. Winds not all that strong, so it's not going to feel any colder than it is outside. Tomorrow, though, winds pick up 15 to 25 out of the north. And that snow starts around the noon hour or so, stretching all the way into the evening for us. But that's when we'll see it clear out. Temperatures dropping down into the single digits to mid-teens. So not exactly a comfortable day or a comfortable evening for us. But we will get our fair share of snow. It will be enough to go sledding on. If you like snow and you want to enjoy snow, we will have it for you. But it won't last that long, I don't think, at least in some parts. Getting back up to around 32 by Monday, and that's when our next shot at a little bit more snow is. But there may be a warming trend coming, and it
we like
might
to hear
point
that.
to a nice Thanksgiving. So we'll see that in a little bit.
Great.
Perfect. Thank you. Still ahead in tonight's Fox Focus on Health.
Why the FDA doesn't want those being treated for breast cancer to use a certain type of drug. We'll be right back. The Food and Drug Administration saying today that Avastin should no longer be used for breast cancer patients. FDA Commissioner Dr. Margaret Hamburg calls the decision difficult, saying it was based on a lack of proof the drug extends lives. She emphasized patients must have confidence that drugs sold for their condition are effective. In a statement, the company who makes Avastin says they are disappointed with the outcome, and the company still plans to start a new trial soon. The FDA decision has no impact on Avastin's approved uses for colon cancer and other tumors. In other health news tonight, normal weight adults eat more than overweight people. Researchers analyzed data on 2 studies sponsored by the National Institutes of Health. One looked at the eating habits of people with a body mass index where they were either overweight or obese. The other looked at normal weight adults who had lost at least 30 pounds and kept it off for more than 5 years. They found those who maintained weight loss consumed the fewest amount of calories and were the most physically active. effective. Study authors say more research in this area is needed. And finally tonight, Americans are more likely to reach the age of 90 than ever before. The first ever census study of the age group shows the number of people who are 90 or older has nearly tripled since 1980. Aging baby boomers are expected to push those numbers up to 8.7 million by the middle of this century. That's a big change from over a century ago when fewer than 100,000 people reached 90 years old. The report shows among the 90-plus population, women outnumber men by a 3-to-1 ratio. For tonight's Fox Focus on Health, I'm Jason Vincent.
All right, thank you, Jason. Let's head into the Sports Center now with Greg Chandler.
Greg, what's ahead in sports?
Well, Dan and Deanna, it's Friday. That usually means a very busy night for us in the sports department, and tonight was no exception. The Bulldog hockey team in action tonight against Mankato, the last home weekend for UMD until mid-January. Mavericks making their first ever trip to Amsoil Arena. We'll also talk some pigskin. As spots in the Prep Bowl were up for grabs today, Moose Lake Willow River looking for its second trip to the title tilt in 3 years against the team the Rebels lost the 2009 championship game to. I'll also look ahead to tomorrow's college playoff action. In Division II, UMD hosts Saginaw Valley State, while in Division III, St. Scholastica travels to St. Thomas for the Saints' first ever postseason contest. In fact, there's so much going on. I need to get back to the Sports Center and get back editing. I'll see you in about 25 minutes.
Do you want the next half hour? We can just go home.
No, I need that to edit. Thank you, though.
Okay.
Thank you, Greg. Well, stay with us because we still have 30 more minutes of news ahead. Here's a look at the rundown.
Why a high-profile trial in the Twin Ports was almost canceled today.
Plus, a Northland restaurant chain wins a big award.
We'll show you some of the top toys hitting stores that will be on your children's Christmas list.
And a sneak peek at some of the floats that will be sailing down New York City's streets for Macy's Parade.
This is Fox 21 News at 9.
Welcome back to our second half hour of news now. The defense asking for a mistrial in the case against a Two Harbors school bus driver.
The trial of Jimmy James continuing today with more witnesses called to the stand. Fox 21's Dana Thayer on the story.
The judge allows the trial of Jimmy James to continue this afternoon. He's the 63-year-old Two Harbors man accused of inappropriately touching children on the school bus he drove. This after a 14-year-old witness made her way into the courtroom when she wasn't supposed to be. She heard testimony from two young girls before it was her turn to take the stand. The defense asking for a mistrial, saying it could modify the case that has serious charges. The judge denying the request and allowing the girl to take the stand. Many of the young girls who claim to have been inappropriately touched by James taking the stand and getting emotional, some of them finding it hard to talk. At times, answers to questions from lawyers fluctuating. The prosecution telling jurors this case will be difficult because testimony will be mostly from these young girls. The defense telling them any confusion in testimony should prove that the allegations aren't true. The defense expected to call their own witnesses to the stand on Monday morning. In Duluth, I'm Dana Thayer, KQDS, Fox 21.
The prosecution resting today after about 10 witnesses took the stand over the past 2 days.
A nearly 5-hour standoff ending peacefully between a man and authorities in Hibbing. The man was barricaded in his camper and claimed he had weapons, though no shots were fired. The incident starting as a domestic situation between father and son. The son making it out safely. Authorities from Hibbing and St. Louis County were on the scene. Charges are pending.
A 25-year-old man is alive tonight after getting hit by a car in Duluth. Happened on Jean Duluth Road around noon today. Authorities saying the 63-year-old driver of the vehicle going southbound, the pedestrian then crossing in front of it and was hit. He was transferred to St. Mary's Hospital for a head injury. No charges will be filed.
For the second time this week, the Red Cross helping victims of a fire. The blaze happening around 2:30 this morning on Kingston Road in Rice Lake Township. It caused major damage there. The Red Cross stepping out to help the family of 5. The nonprofit providing food, comfort kits, and seasonal clothing. The Northland chapter also assisted a family whose home in Gunnison Township was destroyed by fire on Wednesday.
Occupy Duluth protesters saying they're going to figure out a way to remain on the lawn of City Hall. Tyler Nord, one of the voices of Occupy Duluth, saying they'll reorganize their efforts, complying with the eviction notice from Duluth police, but not leaving the lawn of City Hall.
The U.S. government. We are going to be here all winter long. We have other efforts that relate to the occupation movement as a whole, but our position is to be here until March 21st.
Duluth police giving campers an eviction notice, saying only one tent will be allowed on the lawn of City Hall by 11:59 this Sunday.
50,000 signatures collected in the first 48 hours of the Governor Scott Walker recall. That, according to the group United Wisconsin. Signatures getting submitted from all across the state. More than 20,000 people already downloading petitions from recall websites. More than $500,000, that's how much it's costing the state of Wisconsin to handle recall petitions. This for the 9 state senators who were targeted when collective bargaining rights were limited. State election officials saying they'll need at least $650,000 to rent office space and hire 50 temporary employees. It's all to review the petitions that could contain 1.5 million signatures. The board's estimate does not include recall costs for local officials.
Minnesota's biggest online fundraising campaign attracting more than 47,000 donors. Those donations from Give to the Max Day totaling $13.5 million toward charities, schools, and religious groups. The North American Bear Center and Wildcat Sanctuary in Sandstone coming in 2nd and 4th place in small nonprofit fundraising.
Black bear enthusiasts across the globe raising big bucks to help the North American Bear Center in Ely. Through funds from Give to the Max Day, the center was able to raise $165,000 through online donations. One anonymous donor matching other donations with a $70,000 contribution. Dr. Lynn Rogers saying the money will go towards continuing research, adding a couple of den cams, and building an education center.
Animal lovers, listen up. It's the annual Miller Hill Subaru Love a Pet adoption event happening tomorrow from 10 to 6. Dogs, cats, all ready for adoption on the spot at Miller Hill Subaru in Hermantown. The animals coming from Animal Allies, Humane Society of Douglas County, Animal Rescue Federation, and Friends of Animals. The event helping eliminate euthanasia of healthy pets in Duluth. Again, this Saturday, 10 to 6, Miller Hill Subaru.
Runners taking to the chilly streets in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, but it wasn't your typical run, and their attire may have raised a few eyebrows.
Yeah, here's a look at some University of Wisconsin Oshkosh students deciding to strip down for a good cause.
On a night where many bundled up, these Oshkosh students went nearly bare.
Nice job. One.
Welcome to the Nearly Naked Mile. It's a 1-mile run-walk that appeals to the adventurous sort.
I think that's kind of the idea of it. You kind of do something crazy and all for a good cause.
And the service-oriented.
Really supporting those that would have to endure the entire winter without clothes or with very little clothes if people wouldn't be donating the clothes that they're so kindly want to.
Organizers ask students to layer up, then leave those clothes behind.
Oh, these pants are so tight.
That is within reason.
I'm going shorts and shoes, and that's about it.
No one risks to be nude.
Yeah, it's going to be freezing, but run fast and we'll get it done with.
Everything the students piled up will be donated to the Easter Seal.
Where do you want these?
The clothing will help support the organization's camp for cognitively and physically disabled high schoolers. The runners know some may call them crazy for braving the cold.
I feel good now. I'm all warmed up. I want to go again.
They say you'd be crazy not to.
More than 100 people stripping for the Nearly Naked Mile. Up next in tonight's business report, video games breaking sales records, Amazon kindling losses.
We'll be right back.